Okay, so we're going to go over section 5.1 and 5.2, which is solving a system of linear inequalities by graphing. So we're going to graph the inequalities and you're going to find the solution for the system. So first, 5.1 is over graphing single inequality, and 5.2 is graphing system of inequality. Okay? So how you do that? Pretty much the same way you're graphing a straight line. So you're going to graph the straight line first, and here you have the steps. You're going to graph the straight line, and then you're going to choose which side of the line you're going to shade. Okay? And this is how you do it. So I'm going to start with number 1. So here we have one inequality. So before I start, I'm going to treat this like equation. So I'm going to graph 2y equals 4x plus 1. I'm sorry, plus 2. I was thinking we can divide by 2 if you want to do that, but that's okay. So this is my equation for this inequality. So what I'm doing, I am going to graph it. So remember, when you graph a line, you can pick 2 points. So you can pick 0 for x, 0 for y. You can do that. Or you can pick any 2 points, doesn't matter. So I'm going to pick 0 for x and 0 for y. So when I replace x with 0, what I'm going to get? So x is 0. So this is 0. So I'm going to get 2y equals 2. Then I'm going to divide by 2. And that's going to give me y equals 1. So my first point is going to be 0 and 1. Then after that, I'm going to replace y with 0. So when y is 0, this is 0. So I'm going to get 0 equals 4x plus 2. I'm going to subtract 2. And that will give me negative 2 equals 4x. Then I'm going to divide by 4 to get x by itself. And x is going to be negative 1/2 or negative 0.5. Okay? Now when you graph, it's okay to use decimal because you're going to graph it. So that's the 2 points I have to graph, 0, 1, and negative 0.5 and 0. Now, after I graph this line, I have to see what is the sign between them. If you have it equals, then you're going to use a solid line. If you don't have, if the inequality is only greater than, then you're going to use dashed or dotted line. Okay, so I'm going to write it here for you. So if the inequality, so I'm going to look at the inequality here, what you have in the middle. It's not equals, obviously. But if it's greater or equal, or if it's less or equal, if you have the equals in the middle, you're going to use solid line. You're going to graph it like this, solid. Okay? If it's only greater or less than one of those, then your line is going to look like this, dashed or what is called dashed line or dotted line. Okay? So everybody understand that? So depends what is the inequality in the middle, that's how my line is going to look like, dashed or solid. And then we're going to start with the graph. We're going to graph it. So first I'm going to, let me put my x and y coordinate system. So this is the x, this is the y, the intercept of the origin. And then I'm going to graph my point. So 0, 1. So x is 0, y is 1. It's, let's say this is the 1. That's my first point. And then negative 0.5. So I have 1, 1, 2, and so on. And negative 0.5 and 0 is right here. Okay? So these are the 2 points. And then I'm going to graph the 2 points. And I'm going to use solid line because I have equals also. So I'm going to draw a solid line between these 2 points. Okay? So this is how my line is going to look like. Now, after I draw my line, I need to see, I have to shade above the line or below the line. And there are two different ways to decide which side you're going to shade. So this is how you do it. Okay, the first way is if I pick a point. In this case, 0, 0, it's a good point to pick. So I'm going to pick 0, 0. And I'm going to, because 0, 0, it's in this side, below the line, right? So I'm going to pick 0, 0, and I'm going to plug it into the inequality and check if it's true or false. So if I pick 0, 0, and I'm going to replace x with 0, y with 0. So I'm going to have 2 times 0 is greater or equal 4 times 0 plus 2. Is that true? So 2 times 0, 0 is greater than 2. Is that true? No, that's not true. That's false statement, right? So if it's false, that means I have to shade in the other side of the 0, 0. Okay? So I'm not shading below, I'm shading above the line. I have to shade here. So this is the side you have to shade. Okay? So that means you're going to shade above the line. Because 0, 0 is below. You can pick any other points and check it. If it's true, that's the side you're going to shade. Okay? That's the first method, how to pick which side you're going to shade. Another method to check which side to shade is, so the second method is, look at the inequality. So we have y is greater or equal, right? And then something else. And you have 2y here, but so if you have y is greater than, and it's a positive y, that's what you're looking at. It doesn't matter what is the number. If it's positive y greater than or equal, you're going to always shade above. Okay? If it's y, positive y, less or equal of something, you're always going to shade below. Okay? Now, if it's negative y, then it's going to be backwards. Make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? So that's how you do this one. And then we're going to do some more examples. So number 2 is the same way. I'm going to skip that and I'm going to go straight to number 3, where I'm going to graph inequality again. So number 3, we have a system of inequality. And here what I'm doing, I'm going to graph the first one, and then I'm going to graph all of these 3 inequalities, and I'm going to see where they're going to shade. The shade is going to go on top of each other, and they're going to give me area, which is going to be my solution. Okay? It's not going to be number. It's not going to be like a interval. Is going to be area where the solution is going to be. Okay? It's a region. That's what the solution is going to be. So it's going to be bounded or unbounded. I'll describe what that means. And also you have to find the corner points. I'll explain what is that. Okay, so let's do that. So we're going to graph the first one. And we're going to graph it the same way. We're going to start with equation. So pretend that you have 4x minus 3y equals 9. So I need to pick 2 points. So the first one, I'm going to pick 0 for x. So when x is 0, I'm going to have negative 3y equals 9. I'm going to divide by negative 3. And it's going to give me y is negative 3. Okay? Then I'm going to pick 0 for y. So I'm going to replace y with 0 now. So this is 0. So I'm going to get 4x equals 9. I'm going to divide by 4. And I'm going to get x equals What is 9 divided by 4? And you can get the decimal. It's going to be, what is that?
2.25.
Good job. So that's my x, 2.25. And now these are the 2 points I'm going to graph. Now, how you going to graph it? With a solid line or dashed line?
Solid line.
It's going to be a solid line, and I'm going to write it here, solid, that's right. Okay, so that's what I'm going to graph first. So let's go ahead and start with the graph. So I have my x and y axes. And then I have the points 0, -3. Let me just make the scale here. Okay, 0, -3 is this point. And then 2.25, so it's between 2 and 3, but close to 2. Let's say this is the point. And I'm going to connect those 2 points with straight line, and that's going to be my graph. Okay, now I have to decide which side I'm going to shade. Okay, now what I have? -y is less than. So if it's negative, it's opposite. So I'm going to shade above or below? Above, that's right. So I'm going to shade above. And I'm just going to put not too many lines because I'm going to shade something more, so I don't want to get too messy. So I'm going to shade above. And also, if you want, you can pick a point. So if I pick 0, 0 to check, I'm going to check 0, 0. If you want to double check. So when I replace x with 0, y with 0, I'm going to get 0 is less or equal to 9, which is true, right? So I'm going to shade in the side of 0, 0. So it's still above. Okay. So we shaded the first one, we graphed the first inequality. Then I have to graph the second one, which is x is greater or equal to 0. Okay, which means x is positive only here, right? Okay, so this is where x is positive. So first and fourth quadrant, x is positive. And then after that, I have to graph y is positive or equal. So that means you include in the x-axis and the y-axis. So y is positive above the x-axis, right? Okay. So looking at that, and always remember, if you have x is greater than 0, y is greater than 0, that means you're using first quadrant. So these two, x is greater or equal to 0 and y is greater or equal to 0, that means you're using first quadrant. Okay? So always it's in the first quadrant here. Okay? So now, looking at this mess I created, where is the area? Where is the region? So I'm gonna kind of, it's gonna be over here, see? It's, oh, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna draw, I'm gonna pick a different, like this color. So my area is gonna be here, here, and here above the line, right? So this is where all the three different areas, sections, regions intersect. So that's what my area is. So this is the solution of my system of inequality, the yellow part. The yellow.
So by region and quadrant, are those the same? You mean the same by those?
No, region is it's above this line. It's only the yellow part. The quadrant is only, so this is the quadrant. I'm gonna draw the quadrant for you. So first quadrant means this and this only.
Okay, so the quadrants, that whole area, the region is just
Yes.
the area. Okay.
Yes. So the region is where the solution of the system is. Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Now the question is it bounded or unbounded? What do you think?
Bounded because it's solid. I mean, I would guess. But,
Okay, so let me explain. Bounded is when it's enclosed area. So bound is gonna look like this, like something like this. It's closed, that's bounded. Unbounded, it's open area. So I'm gonna put open. This is open, right? Because continuous, see, you can go up all the way up, right? It's open. There is nothing to stop it in the top, okay? So in this case, the answer is unbounded, okay? Everybody understand that?
yes, ma'am. So, would it, like, how would it look on the graph if it was bounded? Because I don't see a
Yes.
situation.
Let me explain how it's going to look if it's bounded. So bounded, let me erase this. So bounded is going to be, let's say, if you have, let's say, I'm going to give you example of bounded area, bounded. So bounded is going to look something like, so you have, let's say, x-axis, y-axis, so like this. And let's say I have a line here and I have to shade below. So this is bounded because it's like a triangle, right?
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Or
Yes, ma'am.
you can have like more lines which are gonna cross the area. So the region is gonna be like in different geometric shape, but it's gonna be closed shape. Okay?
So the
Okay.
region is bounded. That's what we're looking for.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So this is bounded. The question we're doing right now, number 3, it's unbounded. Now, so this is my answer, unbounded. So now let me explain. We need to find the corner points also, right? So where the corner points? The corner points are the points here and here. These 2 points are corner because they're in the angle, right? They describe the area, the region, right? So these are the 2 corner points. So what are the corner points, the coordinates? I'm gonna write it.
0, 0.
0,
225,
0 is one of those, yes. 0, 0.
0,
And what is the other one?
2.25, and 0.
Yes, that's right. Good job. Everybody understand that? So these are my corner points. The area is unbounded, okay? And this is the region. We have it in the graph, okay?
I have a quick question.
Yes,
I understand basically the unbounded and the bounded basically because of the top, there's no limit.
yes.
I even understand why we're plugging in zero and zero because we're trying to figure out whether it's the shaded which side is the shaded region. But how do we? Why are we shading only that one corner instead of like the whole side like we usually do?
Because we have to connect, you see, I have the green shaded area, I have the blue shaded area, and the red shaded area. So all of these 3 areas, they intercept in only this region here.
Oh, okay, I get you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So because you're solving a system of inequality, you have to find what is their common solution, where they have in common. They cross, they're in top of each other, all these 3 different colors. Okay. Okay.
And
Yes.
when you graph that though, like how do you graph that with the tool, like just that little area?
Okay, I'm graphing it with pen right now. I'm gonna go to the actual homework to see how you graph that. Okay.
Okay, because yesterday I was trying to do it with that paint bucket thing, and it just like throws the shaded area, like it doesn't let you get like a little
Yes,
point.
I'm gonna show you that
Okay.
in the actual lab. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So what
Okay.
are the other quadrants as far as, because I see that when x is greater than 0, that's quadrant 1. So what are the other quadrants, or is that something?
Okay. So yes. So this is how the quadrants goes. Oops. So the quadrant, there are 4 quadrants. So you have your x-axis and you have your y-axis. Sorry, I have to charge my computer. So okay. So this is the first. This is the second. This is third and fourth. These are 4 quadrants. Okay. And each quadrant have different x and different y, different sign for x and y. So if you're in the first quadrant, let me write it for you. So if you're in the first quadrant, x is positive and y is positive, okay? In the second quadrant, we have x is negative and y is positive. In third quadrant, you have both of those are negative. Fourth quadrant, we have positive x and negative y. So that's how you know which quadrant you are, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So any questions on this one? Okay. Yes, everybody good? Thank you guys. You're asking very good questions. Thank you for doing that. Okay. So next one is the same idea. So we're going to do one more like this, where you have, actually here you have 4 inequalities. You have 2 inequalities and then x is greater and y is greater, which means first quadrant. And we're going to do one more like that. So let's go ahead and do number 4. So I'm going to start with graphing the first one. So I'm going to graph the first one, and I'm going to need 2 points. And I'm going to pick 0 for x and 0 for y again. So when I replace x with 0, so this is 0, I'm going to get negative y equals 6. And I need to divide by negative 1 to get positive y, right? So that's going to be negative 6. Okay? Then after that, I'm going to replace y with 0. So when y is 0, I have 3x equals 6. Divide by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So these are the 2 points I need for my first graph. Okay? So let's go ahead and graph the first one. And then we're going to go to the next one. So looking at my graph, okay, I know it's going to be first quadrant only, so I'm not going to graph too big. X and Y. So looking at my inequality, is it going to be a solid line or dashed line?
Solid line.
Solid, that's right. So I have to graph a solid line. And let's see, we have 0 and y is negative 6. So I need to go a little down. Negative 6. So that's my first point. And then 2 and 0. Okay, so that's my first line, and I'm going to use the same color to graph it. It's a solid line. And we're going to have to decide, I'm going to shade above or below. Where you're going to shade, above or below the line?
Above.
Above, that's right. So I'm going to shade above. So I'm going to do this. Okay. Then after that, I'm going to grab the second one, and I'm going to pick different color for the second one. And again, I need 2 points. I'm going to pick 0 for x and 0 for y again. So when I replace x with 0, I have y is 9, right? And then I'm going to pick 0 for y. So that will give me 3x equals 9. Divide by 3. So it's going to be 3. And again, I'm going to graph solid or dashed line.
Solid.
That's right. So let's graph those two. So I have 0, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need a longer. Let me make this better. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's the first point. And then 3, 0. So 3, 0 is right here. Okay, and then I'm gonna graph the green line, which is the second inequality. Now, which side you're gonna shade, above or below?
Above.
See what it says, y is less than, positive y is less than.
That's right, and it's not negative. I apologize.
Yes, that's fine, yes, so it's gonna be below, right? Okay, so I'm gonna shade this. So right now, also we have to look at the x is greater and y is greater than 0 means first quadrant, right? So first quadrant is in here. Okay? So what is the shaded area? Where is the area? I'm going to use yellow again. Can you see the area?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it? What is the shape?
It's a triangle.
It's a triangle, that's right. So this is this little triangle here. Okay, everybody see that? So that's my area. Now, is it bounded or unbounded?
Bounded.
It's a bounded. What are the corner points?
Okay. So for the corner points, would you use that green one or the blue one? Because the blue one is in front of the green one, so that would kind of close that off, no?
Okay, so you're gonna use, oh, you know what? It's not exactly triangle. Hold on. It's bounded, but it's not exactly this triangle because you need to go above
Yeah, it's like a
this blue
quadrilateral.
line. Yes, so it's not a triangle. it's like from here. So this is the area. It's like something like not exactly trapezoid, but it's like okay, you have 4 corner points. Okay, so we're gonna have these 4 corner points. Okay, so it's a bounded area, that was right. And let's find the points, the corner points. So the first one here is what? 0, 0. What else?
2, 0.
Okay, 2, 0. What is the one in the top?
0, 9.
0, 9. And you have one more, this one, and we have to find this one. Okay, how are you gonna find it? Now, this point is intersection between these 2 lines, right? So what you need to do, you need to solve this system of inequality, of equations to find the common solution. So in order to find this point, I have to solve the system. 3x minus y equals 6 and 3x plus y equals 9. So when I solve these two, because this point is intersection between the 2 lines, the green and the blue line, when I solve this system, the solution is going to be the intersection point, right? And this is already ready to add. So when I add the 2 equations, see the y cancel. So I'm going to have 6x equals, what is that, 15?
15.
And then divide by 6. is going to give me x is what you get, 2.5?
Sorry, my phone died. I don't know.
Yeah. So my x is going to be 2.5. And then we have to find the y. How you find the y? You can plug it in one of the equations. I can plug it in, let's say, use the second equation. So when I plug it in the second, I'm going to have 3 times 2.5 is my x plus y equals 9. Now 2.5 times 3 is 7.5 plus y equals 9. And I'm going to subtract 7.5. And that's going to be the y. So what is that? 1.5, right?
1.5.
Okay, so my interception point between the two green and blue line is going to be, has coordinates 2.5 and 1.5. Okay, so my area is bounded and these are the corner points. And that's what you need to find. Okay, now the corner points are very important because later on we're going to do, like next week and Monday, we're going to talk about 5.3. It's about finding maximum or minimum of a function over a region like this. So in order to find the maximum or the minimum, you have to find the corner points. Okay, so it's very important to know how to find the corner points. Okay, any questions on this one?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so we can do one more like this, and then we're gonna do the homework question. So let's, if you want to do number 6. Okay, so for number 6, you have 3 lines. So I'm gonna start with the first one. 3 inequalities and then first quadrant. This is first quadrant. Okay, so here we have the first one. So I'm gonna pick 0 for x, 0 for y again, the same way. So when I replace x with 0, I have 6y equals 12. And when I divide by 6, it's going to be 2, right? Then after that, I'm going to replace y with 0. And I have negative 2x equals 12. When I divide by negative 2, it's going to be, what is that? Negative 6, right? So these are the 2 points I'm going to graph. Let's just calculate the points first because I need to see how to graph the, how big to get the graph. So 0 and 0. So I have, when I replace x with 0, it's going to be 3y equals 6. When I divide by 3, it's going to be 2, right? And then I'm going to replace y with 0. So I have 2x equals 6. Divide by 2 is going to be 3. So these are my points for the second line. And then I'm going to do one more, which is this one, the third one here. And I have 0 for x and 0 for y. So let's replace x with 0. So when I replace x with 0, I have negative 2y equals 4. Divide by negative 2. And that will be negative 2. And then after that, I'm going to plug it in 0 for the y. So I'm going to get 3x equals 4. Divide by 3. Now 4 over 3 is going to have repeating decimal. So I can just leave it like that. 4 divided by 3 is 1.333. Okay, anyway, but I'm going to put 4 over 3 here. because when I do the corner, if this is one of the corner points, I need to use 4/3. And I'm just going to put it here, 1.33, like that. Okay, so we have all the points. We have everything we need to graph it, right? So we're going to start graphing this. So I need my x-axis to be from, and the y-axis go from -6 and 3. It's going to be something like that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
So because that, I'm sorry. So because the points, the 3 is repeating, you can
Yes.
put it in the fraction form.
Yes. Because later on, if you, I'm talking about like later on when you start finding the maximum and the minimum, we're gonna evaluate the corner points. So because you want to get the actual, the precise solution, it's better to use 4/3 than 1.3, because 1.3 you round it, okay? But that's later on, just keep it like that. 1.3 now is good, okay? So let's start the graphs. We're gonna start with the first graph, which is the blue one. So we have 0, 2. Oh, x is negative. Oh, I'm sorry, I have it backwards. So let's, okay, I need to move this. Sorry, I have it in the wrong place. Sorry, I'm gonna just, okay, so it should be something like this. So when you graph, you kind of want to see the numbers first and careful where exactly it's going to be. Okay, so we have 0, 2 is right here. So I have 0, 2. Let me draw the blue line first. 0, 2, and then -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and this is is going to be a solid, right? So all of these lines, they're solid because you have equals also. So this is my first graph, the blue one. And where you shade it, above or below? We have y positive less means below. So instead of making a big mess, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to shade below the graph, okay? Then after that, I'm going to do the green line, which is 0, 2. So it's going to go to the same point. And then 3, 0, it's right here. And this is my green line. It's solid again. Now, you have y positive is greater, so you're going to shade above the line. And I'm not going to make a mess, so just like that, it's enough. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and draw the red line. And the points are 0, -2, and 1.30. So let's say here. And this is my y. And I don't need to go all the way down. And where you shade in the last one, it's a negative y. Less means opposite, so that means above, yes. Okay, so now looking at this 3 shaded area, and also of course, I forget that it's the first quadrant, right? So it's gonna be only in the first quadrant. You know what, let me use different color. Brown. Let's do pink. Okay, also using the first quadrant only. Okay, so now, where is the area? Where is the common shaded area?
No, that's the triangle in between the three.
Between the three, that's right. So this is the triangle here, right? Okay, so is it bounded or unbounded?
Bounded.
Bounded. And you need to find the corner points. Now the corner points are always intersection between the lines, right? The two lines. So, oh, actually this is easy. The first one is easy. So this one has coordinates what? 0 and 2, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So the first corner point is 0 and 2. Now, if I want to find this one, I have to solve the system of equation between the red and the green. So I'm going to copy the red equation, inequality, like equation 3x minus 2y equals 4. That's the red one. And the green one is 2x plus 3y equals 6. So when I solve this, I'm going to get this point here. Okay? And how you solve it? You can multiply the first one by 3. It's going to give you, I'm going to focus in that y, so I'm going to cancel the y. So 3 times 2 is 6, and the second by 2 is going to give me also 6. So I'm multiplying 3 times 3, 9x, minus 3 times 2 is 6y, 3 times 4 is 12. Then I'm multiplying everything in the second equation by 2. 2 times 2 is 4x, plus 2 times 3 is 6y, 2 times 6 is 12. I'm gonna add those, and that gives me 13x equals 24. Divide by 13. And let's see what we got.
1.84. But there's like, do you just want to go through the thousands, like 2 decimal points? Is that it?
Okay, so here, let's keep it like that. 24 over 13. So that's the x. And then I can plug it, let's plug it into the second one to find the y. So we have 2 times 24 over 13 plus 3y equals 6. So here we need to solve for y. We need to get y by itself. And first I'm going to multiply 24 over 13 by 2. So that's going to give me 48 over 13 plus 3y equals 6. And I'm going to subtract 48 over 13. This is 6 over 1. So subtract this. This cancel. And we're going to get 3y equals. Now here, if you want, you can use calculator for this. And I'm going to use symbol up here. Symbol up. And I have 6 minus 48 over 13. 6 minus 48 over 13. Or you can just find common denominator and subtract it. 30 over 13. So I'm going to use the fraction 30 over 13. And then I have to divide both sides by 3. So divided by 3 means multiply by 1 over 3, right? And then 3 and this cancel. So I'm gonna get y is 10 over 13.
I'm
Okay,
sorry. How
yeah,
did you get 30 over 13 from 6 minus 48?
use the calculator.
But okay.
Yeah, if you wanna
Okay.
use it without calculator, you need to find common denominator. So that means I'm gonna multiply this by
Okay. No,
13.
I see. I see it. I see it now.
Yes, and this by 13. Okay. Okay, so we get, so my corner point is gonna be x is this, and y is this. Okay. I know it doesn't look pretty, but it is what it is, right? So I'm gonna write it here next to the all the list of my corner points. So the first one was 0, 2. The other one is gonna be 24 over 13 is x, and the y was 10 over 13, right? And we're not done. We have one more to find, right? Okay, so let's see what else we need to find. We need to find the third corner point actually. So the third corner point is gonna be, I'm gonna use brown. So we're gonna find this one here, okay? So this point is intersection between the blue and the red line. So the blue line is negative 2x plus 6y equals 12. And the red one is 3x minus 2y equals 4. So I have to solve this system of equation to find where the 2 points intercept. Okay? So how are you going to find that? We're going to solve the system. And solving the system is just eliminate. I'm going to eliminate. So I'm going to multiply the second equation by 3 because I want to cancel the y. 3 times negative 2 is going to be negative 6 is going to cancel with the y. So I'm going to copy the first equation, which is negative 2x plus 6y equals 12, the same, and multiply the second by 3. 3 times 3 is 9x, 3 times 2 is 6y, 3 times 4 is 12. And when I add those two, these cancel. So what I have, 9 minus 2 is 7x, 24, and then I'm going to get fraction again. So that's my x, 24 over 7. I'm going to write it here, 24 over 7. And I have to find the second one. And you're going to find the second one when you plug it in. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to plug it, let's say, in the first one, because it's a positive y. So I have negative 2 times 24 over 7. That's my x. Plus 6y equals 12. So this is over 1. I'm going to multiply. So that gives me negative 48 over 7 plus 6y equals 12. And I'm going to add, because here in order to move 48 over 7, I'm going to add 48 over 7. So I'm going to add 48 over 7. This cancel. So I'm going to use calculator again. 12 plus over 7. And in order to do that, we just have to find common denominator and add the numbers. In this case, is 123 over 7. And then I have to divide by 6 or multiply by 1 over 6. And now 123 is not divisible by 7, right? Or by 6. It's not divisible by 6, right? So we're just gonna multiply straight across. So it's gonna be y equals 123 over 6 times 7 is what?
42.
Yep. And we're gonna have, that's the y. Okay, and we're done with this problem. It's a lot of steps, a lot of things we did. And these are my corner points. Okay, so the area is bounded, and these are the corner points. So the goal for this problems you're doing is you have to graph it, you have to find the corner points. Okay, so pretty much that's concludes everything so far.